Welcome to What Should I Play Today? This series is designed to give you some new ideas, tips, and tutorials from your creative piano teacher. Our goal is to explore the piano and try something maybe just a little bit different, something you might not get the chance to try in an ordinary piano lesson. Music to help you be a little more creative. I'm here to encourage you with some inspiration. Hey there, I'm Susan Staples Bell, and in case you don't know me, I'm a composer who writes inspiring piano sheet music for teachers and their students. And I've been a piano teacher for over 30 years. Each week, I'm going to bring you some music thoughts to consider and help you along the way. Ready? Let's be inspired together. Today's inspiration is all about lead sheets. You might recognize that tune. That's Danny Boy. And I don't know when you're watching this, but this video was premiered in the month of March, and it's all about St. Patrick's Day. Danny Boy is a well-loved Irish tune, and I thought you might like to learn to play it today. So what is a lead sheet? Well, a lead sheet normally just has the right-hand melody, and then it has chords written over the notes so you know what to do with your left hand. Well, what about chords? How do we do that? Well, I have a packet. If you want to follow along, you can download this and I'll teach you this lesson. We can do it together. But there are only about 8 chords that you need to play this song, this tune, Danny Boy. It's in the key of C. I'm such a teacher. Let's just review the key of C. You're going to need for right hand, and to make up the chords come right there from the C major scale. So we're going to skip over that right now, but just know that's our musical alphabet. If you open up your file, your music that you've got for this lesson, this is, by the way, from my series, Fall in Love with Lead Sheets. And you need to know your melody, you need to know your chords, and then we need to figure out what arrangement we want to do with the left hand. So I'm going to skip over the right hand melody. If you've been playing for a while, you're going to want to study that right hand. You're going to want to figure out ahead of time what fingers make sense to use where, and really study and be confident in that first before you go on. But since most people can do that, I'm going to skip over to the chords. And I said the first step we're going to do with chords is root position. So this is in the key of C. The first chord we're going to use is a C chord. C, E, and G. Now you can play that in, I say, root position because C is on the bottom. And we can just use whole notes because that makes it nice and easy. Now, there's something called root position triads, because there's 3, but we can do an inversion. We can put the C on the top. That's the first inversion, but in jazz language, we like to call that a C chord over the E. It'll have a slash, and that tells us that E is on the bottom. Another inversion, we can move the C to the middle, or the G on the bottom. C chord slash G on the bottom. So root position. First inversion, second inversion. There's all kinds of ways to think about it. Those are 3 chords we're going to use in Danny Boy. We're also going to use the F chord. If I went C, D, E, F, and I put my 5 finger, this is an F root position, F, A, and C. You need to know that. And then if I move my hand up, I can play the G chord, G, B, and D. But something really cool is a suspended 4. Or a G sus 4. This is, instead of using the 3, 1, 2, 3, we move the 3 to 4, which is a C, G suspended 4. Sounds really cool, and then it resolves to G major. Another chord you're going to see in here is a G7. Now, that's a lot of notes to play all at once. We could leave a note out. We could play it in an inversion. I'm going to talk more about that later, but that's the letters G, B, D, F are in G7. The next one is A minor, A, C, and E. And I can do the same thing. I can add the 7th note over A, C, E, G. And these are all chords that we're going to use in Danny Boy. All right, so I'm going to go back and play Danny Boy with actually I'm going to back up and do one more thing first. I'm going to play just the root or the letter name of the chord. This is the easiest way you can do this. So the first chord is C. So I'm just going to put my hand in C position, C, D, E, F, G, and play my 5 on C, because that's pretty normal. The next chord I see is F, so I can just play it with my F. The next one is C over E. I'm just going to play the E, because the E is on the bottom. Then it says A minor, I can play an A. Then it says G, sus, 4 with a G. So I'm going to play the first 2 lines just using the root note or the letter of the chord symbol. Here we go. That again, because I want to move my right hand up an octave. You know why? I'm going to start running into my common notes, and I want left hand to be able to play all the notes that I just told you about. Danny Boy, right hand octave higher, left hand just the name of the chord, just the letter of the chord symbol. Here we go. I just played it, and I played this every time I saw a letter on the chord sheet, or the lead sheet rather, but you could repeat them. I'm playing half notes. I just held it because I was busy playing this. We have 2 different ways just using the name of the chord, just the first letter. All right, second step, let's use the chords. I'm going to play just the chords first to get used to, because I have to move my hand now. That's a little bit tricky. So this is Danny Boy. I'm not going to play right hand. I'm just going to play the chords. First one is C. Then in the last measure on the first line, I'm going to move up to F. Now this is one of those inversions. It's C with a slash E. That means it's a C chord, but the E is in the bottom. Then it says A minor 7. I'm just going to use A minor for now because I can. And then I'm going to move to G, sus 4, and I'm going to resolve. That means the C goes down to the B. And go back to C just because it makes me feel good. I feel more finished. C is our home chord, so it makes us feel like we've completed the journey. Now, that's pretty much all the chords you're going to need in this song. So you've got the first way, you can just play the name of the chord. You can repeat those notes with the name of the chord, whatever. That's the second way. The third way is playing at these whole notes. You can also change the rhythm to half notes with the left hand. That's another option if you want to, but the next option I really love, I use this one a lot, I call them open fifths. So instead of playing the whole chord 1, 3, and 5, right? If I have a scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, and 5. It's cool, by the way, chords are created by skipping notes. So if I just play 1 and 5, it's an open fifth, and it gives it kind of a more room to breathe. I like it. And by the way, I'm going to move it down an octave. I'm going to bring my right hand down to where the notes are written. These are probably notes you already know, but let's hear what that might sound. Open fifths. It's a sixth, but they told us we want the E in the bottom, and it's a C chord, so I have an E and a C. And then I'm going to move up to A minor. Now, I can't really muddy sounding, but I'm just going to leave that one out. Okay, but you get the idea. Those are open fifths moving around. Now, I would practice all of these different techniques for a long time. If you're raring to go to the next level, let me show it to you. I love this pattern. I call it 1, 5, 3. Do you remember our chord? 1, 3, 5, C, E, and G. If I put the C, which is 1 on the bottom, I'm going to use this 5 in the middle. Now look, I've got long fingers. If you have short fingers, this might be tricky. And I'm going to put my third note up on the top. C, G, E. Oh, let's see what that sounds like. Oh, look, that's the same note. So this is another reason I had said maybe we could put this up on the an upper octave. So you get the idea. Oh, one more thing I need to tell you. If I have a C with an E in the bottom, I have to change my pattern. I'm going to have the E with the C and the G. Look at it as a puzzle. I've got 3 notes. I can reorganize it in any way. If you don't know about that, it's a little overwhelming, but don't try to do too much at once. Try to do a little bit at a time. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a kind of a chance to try something new. I'm going to go ahead and play Danny Boy for you, and I'll see you next time.